When you're confronted with something difficult, you can react in one of two ways. And one of the ways is you can try to find the right solution to this. You can see what the root of the problem is and you can see what's causing it. And then you can compromise that cause in some way, or you could prevent it completely, and that would be your solution. And then there's another way, and that way to respond to a problem would be to complain about it or any of the negative reactions, not respond to it. Even worse, pretend it's not there at all. Uh, just be willfully ignorant of it. You could also cower in fear of it. You could stress out about it, not doing it, but only thinking about it. You could just not see, like, even try to attempt to find the way to do it. And it's a no-brainer which one you're going to choose. You're obviously going to choose the first one, aren't you? You're going to choose the first option because that's the way to actually make the problem go away. And when you make the problem go away, that's good because it's not there anymore. So um, I'm going to tell a story about how I myself had to become solution oriented. So I was making my first client website, and that was writersisle.co.uk, and it was a learning management system. And I'm still doing it now actually. And what I had to do here was a couple of kind of complex functions like adding in a portfolio, adding in a feedback page, uh, just have and these designs as well. So just having all of these fancy things for learning management system. They're not that fancy really, but at my level then it was fancy to me because I didn't know how to do it. So what I had to do then was encounter a ton of problems and then find a way to get past them because those problems were preventing me from actually making the site. And we can't have that when we want to actually complete the project. And how you're going to respond to a solution, sorry, I'm just putting in my laptop, how you respond to a solution is determined by how much you actually want to complete the thing you're completing. So I really wanted to complete this project because I wanted to prove I was a web developer, and I didn't give up. I encountered a ton of problems, and these problems were huge. Some of them, they could take me days on end, and I could feel myself losing my mind when I was just there sitting in my room at 9 o'clock with the light bright on, and I had COVID-19, and I was listening to this guy fire off at rapid speed about this advanced custom field, and he had a 19-part video series, and I only got to the fifth video, and then I realized it was completely pointless and not relevant to what I was doing, but I was pushing myself to watch him anyway. And when I was asleep, or when I was about to go to sleep, I was just thinking, wow, this is kind of nice. I'm finally going to be able to forget about this horrendous day I've had. I've just been stuffing my brain all day with this code and stuff and trying to memorize it. And then, you know what, I just dream about all night. It's literally nothing but the code all night. And then first thing in the morning, I start going back at it again, and it was just my entire existence. And those are the lengths I would go. Now that's not very efficient, but those are the lengths I would go to complete that task I had. And that one of those tasks were, or the worst one by far, was the portfolio one. I'd say it took me about a week just to find a compromised solution on it, but I found somewhat of a solution anyway, and it was a relief, and it was just a very simple solution, didn't hiding in plain sight. But it wasn't a full solution. But the thing is, I didn't take it as a complete failure when I couldn't find the perfect solution, even if it was a ton of time that it took off me, because I have to do something. I have to focus on some kind of response, and I can't just bring up no response just because I can't bring up a full one. So that's what you need to do when your capability doesn't extend to the bounds of the full solution. You need to find a compromise somewhere, and that compromise might be it might be like the person has to upload their own portfolio item manually instead of having in a page that automatically becomes filled up with the stuff that they've submitted. Just stuff like that, really. So when you're not solution oriented, what you're going to do is you're just going to wallow in whatever problem you have, and then you're not going to find a solution because you're too focused on making a victim of yourself, and that's the natural human reaction, and I don't blame anyone who does that. But if you want to become better than that, then you do need to push yourself to the pain of having to find a solution, and that's the only way to solve these problems. And today again, I went back at it. What I was doing was just some final parts of the site before it goes really live to people, and um, some of those problems were um, easy to encounter and take care of. Some of them were not so easy, and I had to do some extra research for them. I think um, one of them was I can't. It's hard to remember. Let me think. One of them was, oh yeah, this feedback page, and it just wouldn't load into the right page, and I was just wondering why that was happening. It was just giving me this 404 error, and I thought I had looked up at the URL, but I didn't really. And after 5 to 10 minutes, I looked up at the URL and I realized it was from the local site, which is just a practice site that we use before we draft the official site. So I just put in the proper link then, and it worked like a charm. Another problem was getting rid of um, the icons for quizzes and students, and I had to do that. And all I had to do was look up on Stack Overflow, and that was easy. Sometimes though, I look up things up on Stack Overflow and it doesn't come up. Another problem I haven't actually yet solved, and my temporary solution was just to email the developer, but um, the courses listing isn't in order. The project course is at the top, and then the bottom three are the less advanced ones, and this top advanced one should be at the bottom where all the more advanced writers will go, but that's not the case right now, so I need to find a solution for that. And I looked it up on Stack Overflow, absolutely nothing. There was no solution to it, even offered by the company itself, and all they did was offer an email and say, hey, if you want this figured out, then contact an advanced developer from the firm, and they might be able to do it for you. But that's not much of a solution, but it's what I did. It's what I had to do. No one else had anything on it. The other thing I was doing wasn't working. Sorting it by date, sorting it by most recent, sorting it by least recent. That didn't push it to the bottom. None of them did. So I need to find a solution to that. But the thing is, I'm not focused on the problem itself. I don't think that I am insufficient because um, I can't solve that yet. I just think that I haven't found a way to do it, and that's a mindset that you need to take with you when you're doing stuff. And that's what Thomas Edison said, or someone like that. I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work. That's exactly it. That's very true. But and we always like to preach these quotes, but well, actually not. Yeah, preach. Yeah, we preach these quotes, but then we don't practice them. That's the problem with us. We don't actually um, we don't continue after some failure. We just give up immediately. And again, that's the human thing to do, because it's not a waste of energy. You're saving energy by not doing that. We always want to conserve our energy, but in this world, you don't really need to. So, yeah, just keep trying to find a solution, and um, try not to give up. Just even if you have to compromise, if you have to ask someone for help, just do that. Yeah.